joining us today is our guest, Dr. Agwocha Grace. Man, you're welcome to the program.
Good evening, listeners. You're all welcome, and I believe you enjoy listening to us today.
All right. Dr. Agwocha is the Chief Consultant, Psychiatrics, FMC, that's Federal Medical Center, Umuahia, and she is going to be dealing and trashing the topic, tips on managing pressure among young people. All right, so this kind of tips, I'm just okay, I am going to be part of those learning today, not just you. All right, so I hope you have your jotter, your pen, because it's about to be knowledge explosive. All right, so now someone is wondering, what exactly are we talking about today when it comes to pressure? What kind of pressure are we looking at, Antonio? Let's start so people who actually, get this thing together.
Pressure has different meanings. Pressure can be, you want to inflate something.
Yeah.
It's pressure. We're talking about pressure that has to do with pressures of life. Going to the market today, you have a lot of pressure. To buy fuel today is another story. A lot of pressures we are going through lives, mentally, emotionally, physically, physical pressures, emotional pressure, mental pressure, and we have a mental health specialist to talk to us. I'm also listening. I don't know if she's going through any pressure, by the way.
Who said I'm not? The fact that I left most things I was doing to jump and run and race is enough stress and pressure.
All right, no problem. We'll get to the depth of all those things today. Now, Dr. Agwocha, I want to find out from you, is it possible for pressure to be negative or positive?
Wow, it can be both ways.
It can be
either ways.
So when is pressure supposed to be said to be positive?
It can be said to be positive when one happens that an individual finds him or herself in a group where, assuming that students, they form a study group where they read to actualize their vision for being the students. Okay? It's also illicit substances. These are negative.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Grace.
Yeah.
Now, we are talking about tips on managing pressure among young people, and this is Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. I want to remind you that this is a drive of the heart to build youth development initiative, and they want to make sure that young people have a holistic development. So, wherever you are, you would like to go to their page right now, Heart to Build. The 2 is a digit 2, so when you go there, don't be looking for TWO, look for the digit 2 and join the conversation. Yes. All right, thank you so much, Anthony. And I want to ask you, growing up as a young person, what were the pressures you faced, negative and positive?
Let me tell you one story. When I was growing up, I had a father who was a very strict man.
Okay.
Very strict, as in. But today I enjoyed that strictness. I never had the opportunity to just go visit Victoria just for visiting sake. I wanted to do a lot of things, but it was like, no, wherever you're going, you must be going for a good reason.
Okay.
If you had friends, you're going to that person's house to either discuss your assignments or some other thing. But it has to be something that is meaningful. You understand? Then I also had the pressure of, I needed to succeed in whatever I was doing. I didn't play with my studies. And I never played. I don't play with any assignment I have. So that pressure, that anxiety to succeed, because there must be a pressure, there must be, just like Doc said, it has to be either positive or negative. That drive, that thing that makes you to work extra hard to succeed, I think it's pressure.
Okay.
It's pressure. So I had those things growing up. And above all, at some point, when you lose certain persons in your life, you could also have some pressures. When I lost my father in my second year in the university, it wasn't easy for me. I just had to find a reason. To, move on. I saw him as he didn't want me to fail, so I needed to please him in my mind. So I had to build that in my mind to move on.
All right, thank you so much.
Can I come in there?
You can come in, Doc.
Yeah. It's partly pressure indeed, because like we said, we have positive pressures that help good performance.
Yeah.
But when the pressure becomes so enormous, it becomes deleterious and reduces performance. Exactly. In another way, it could also be as a result of family norms you had, values that helped you to maintain a focus and get going, and you succeeded.
So
All right.
something good in pressure.
Thank you so much. Now, we are looking at different kinds of pressure, and I want us to be able to paint a picture for the young person to understand today. Now, we're talking about pressure. We said it could be positive, negative. Now, let's look at one area that a young woman will understand right now, the pressure to marry.
And
So
Christmas is coming by the corner.
and Christmas is by
Some
the
people want to go
corner.
home. So you not ask them, are you not yet married? Or even the guys. It's a very heavy pressure, though.
Yes. So let's look at it, because I would like us to treat in such a way that a young person listening can have a picture. So it doesn't look like we are above them or just talking about things around. Let's talk about these things that someone can actually relate to. So a young lady now who is above 30 or even just 27 or 26 is having a kind of pressure to get married. Doc, what would you advise? What would be that way you feel the young person can actually maneuver those pressures and be excellent as a person?
All right. If such a lady who is 27,
What of guys?
She said ladies. Let's look at the ladies.
Okay.
Because usually ladies are the ones under pressure. That you're 25, you're 26, your mates are married. What are you still doing there? You get to get going.
Yeah.
Okay. When such a person is faced with such a pressure, I will rather cancel such a person. All right, to be herself, remain focused, do what you're doing, keep doing it, positive things you're doing. Don't be distracted. Don't go into negative things to achieve that process of getting married. When you keep doing what you're doing, the right one will meet you. The right person will see you. If you start getting worried excessively, you endanger your life. Worry can cause a lot of psychological issues. You become a patient. Worry will not solve any problem for you. You need to be calm. Keep doing what you're doing. The right guy will meet you in the process of whatever you're doing, so that you don't lose your sleep too from worrying.
Just before you take the next question,
All
Doctor,
right.
I was just looking at pressure. We have different pressure. We have social pressure, financial pressure. I think, do they all amount to mental pressure? You're a psychiatrist, so how do we actually classify pressure?
Pressure is sometimes interchanged by individuals, and they are used with stress interchangeably. Okay, pressure is a form of psychological stress, and since we know it is a stress, we now know that we should look out for stressors in individuals who go through pressure, and that's one of the tips of managing them.
Okay.
What are those things that trigger them into it? That cues that make them fall prey. You work on it as part of the tips. So, like you take that question again. Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, I wanted to find out.
Yeah.
I've heard about social pressure, and we have also emotional pressure, financial pressure.
Yeah.
How can we actually talk about these different types of pressures?
Okay, financial pressure situation whereby one gets financially bankrupt or downtrodden financially, possibly as a result of poor budgeting or low income or not being employed. If you look at the youth today, most are graduates, no employment. These things can trigger them into financial stress and pressures. Okay, this can lead to other negative vices in them, wanting to fill up that obligation, coming from their parent, family too, pressure too coming in. So these aspects, emotional pressures, can also come from the way the family throws it at them with respect to different aspects. Okay, if you are not able to contribute to the family, if you are not yet married, like we mentioned a few minutes ago, for the ladies, the men who are yet to get married, who are still in their father eating from the pockets of the parents, this can throw them into emotional trauma. They can become depressed. They can become suicidal. We have a lot of suicidal youths out there. I've come across a lot. I tend to anchor the suicide, what we call SOPAIN initiative here in Abia State. Okay, so many of them, they call in. I go to take rescue of them sometimes. So these things can trigger emotional, bring about emotional traumas coming from these areas I mentioned, financial pressures coming from being unemployed and so on. Okay, I think these are the areas you mentioned.
Social pressure.
Okay, social pressure. Wow, look at what the social pressure can also come from the family, from the society we find ourselves. A lot of what is happening to society today locally, insecurity, a lot of insecurity affecting the youth. The youth can no longer dress freely. They can't dress the way they want to baggy it. Okay, when they baggy it, they are suspected as being this or that.
Yeah.
They are not free to live out their mental health, to live out their optimal life and perform optimally in the society where they find themselves. So when there is these pressures, it affects the mental health.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Grace. It's been a very enlightening one, but I want us to look at something. Now, recently, Selena Gomez, a very renowned star, she came out to say she was going through mental stress. Now, Selena Gomez is someone that is well-to-do. She is doing well for herself. She is very popular, especially from her teenage. So what exactly could be the kind of pressure that someone who has such around her has? I feel like when we look at her, we're like, she is well-fulfilled and established. What will make her consider or to begin to say that she is actually going through mental stress despite all that affluence?
A lot more about her, please.
Okay, so she is she's a teenager and she started acting at a very tender age. She is a musician. She has a great net worth, and if you look at her, you could say that she's doing very well for herself in the music industry, in the acting industry.
Is she
and
married?
so she has someone she's dated. I wouldn't say she is married. You know how the whites do. Yeah, so what do you think
That
could be
you
the pressure?
have wealth,
Okay.
you have excess abundance does not remove the fact that you cannot be depressed.
Exactly.
Okay, you can be wealthy, but other things are
You're lacking
are the,
things.
yes. If like the Igbo that says always okay. I don't know how many people out there hear Igbo. The word can never be enough for anybody. That's interpretation. Okay, she might be going through relationship issues,
Okay.
which we don't know. We just know that she has somebody.
She
there.
has money.
She might also not be sleeping well, having enough sleep. Okay, she might also have other issues bothering her. We don't know aware of. So these things can trigger her into wanting to end it.
All right. So what you're saying in essence is
Or
that
becoming
pressure.
emotional.
Okay. So what you're saying is that pressure does not respect anyone.
Not at all.
It doesn't. It's not about your money.
No.
So if this is the case, what exactly should be that lookout? You know, as a young person, as an older person, when it comes to pressure, since it's not a respecter of your money or anything, it could come to the person who has affluence, to come to the person who doesn't have affluence. How do you strike a balance to make sure that this is avoided or managed?
As part of the tips in managing stress or pressures, one should look at, like I said, stressors in one's life. These stressors are the things, triggers that will give you that pressure and bring you down to your knees.
What are
mentally.
those stressors?
Yes. If you, for students or for any individual, when you overwork yourself, excess workload can be a stressor for you.
Okay.
All right. An individual also can have financial burden, financial low income as a stressor. Not being employed can be a stressor for you. Not having good social network, loneliness. When you don't have good social, you're always on your own. You can go down too. We need to interact with the society, the external millennium we find ourselves, so that you can strike a balance in your growth and your development.
Well, Doc, I just want to observe that in recent times, you find a lot of young people coming down with mental health issues.
Yeah.
And apart from managing it, my problem is it that we are now becoming overzealous, towards acquiring a lot of things, towards achieving unattainable goals? My concern is about the young people. I mean, how can we actually help them? That's why we actually brought the issue of tips. And I would want you to actually go into that.
The youth, the topic is apt, considering the time, the things that are happening in the society today. If the youth can be put through a lot of coping skills,
Okay.
it will go a long way to helping them to walk away or be less stressed or be less pressured.
You said coping skills.
Coping skills.
What are the coping skills?
Some of them are teaching them how to solve problems when they have them. Problem-solving mechanisms. These things are usually done during therapies, when they go through therapies. Okay? You don't necessarily have to be quite psychotic to come walk into a therapy room.
Oh.
Okay, or to be cancelled. You don't need to. That's the problem we have in the part of the world. If you have any issue bothering you, you don't know how to resolve it, you don't know how to go about it, you can't get your parents to go through, you can talk to your mental health physician.
And
talk to your therapist.
It doesn't involve money.
There's no good food.
I like that question.
Because as a young person,
there's no good food
without little money.
But Doc, I'm imagining as a young person, like right now, I don't have access maybe to my parents to talk to. I'm going through something, and I want to walk into a place or a firm or an organization that it handles and the therapy aspect of things. And I'm like, okay, fine. There should be a place that is free. Now I don't have money. I just want to get help. Is there no platform like that for young people?
Actually, I think these are one of the things we are looking into the mental health bill issue. Okay, if you look at the updated one, it doesn't. There's no room for taking care of the mentally ill patients. So if they can pass and bring it to action, the content of the mental health bill,
okay,
I think a lot will go into place. Those who have issues or challenges can be taken care of, just like in health insurance issues.
All right.
Doc, let me take you back to your first answer, coping skills. What else?
Okay, you're back with your day.
Yes, I need that.
All right.
I'm sure you need that too.
Yes, how to make decisions.
Okay.
Decision making. Lots
How
of
to make
people out
decision.
there cannot
Undecided.
They're undecided.
Exactly.
They don't own their lives. They cannot say this is, because most youth are in the stage of their developmental stages, where they are still playing with who I am, identity, and role confusion. They don't even know where they belong. But you see, they speak good English, Queen's English, dress well. I think they know it. They don't. So that's why they should be guided a lot by parents, by significant others, by whoever happens to be in their life, which I call significant others.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. More importantly, the therapists, psychiatrists, mental health physicians. Yes.
Wow. So coping skills.
I've just learned
Decision making,
problem solving
mechanisms.
Yes.
And again, I think it's also nice for people to begin to talk to themselves about. You don't own your life to anyone. You should be able to express yourself the way you want it, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, some of them are too conscious of, I want to get it right.
Yes.
And in the build of I want to get it right, you keep making many other mistakes. You know, just be
Yes.
yourself. If you make any mistake, you didn't get it right, but you can do better. Some of us are not also encouraging them. You know, young people some of them are, we have them in our houses, in our schools, wherever you find themselves. I think the key word there is encouraging them to.
And supporting
them.
We need to be terribly supportive.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of also things I've not mentioned. Image issues. They have a lot of.
They want to be like you. They want to be like.
Some of them feel
my name is Victoria Ichi. I want to be like Victoria.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't know how to say no to.
Exactly.
So that still boils down to decision making. All right, we'll be right back in just a short break. There are some questions I have that I want you to look into, but that will be after the short break. Meanwhile, if you're still with us, I know you are still with us. Look at the numbers you're going to use to call in shortly to ask your own questions concerning pressure of any kind. The numbers are 0808-182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. The SMS line is 0906-510-8289. And remember that you can join the conversation on Flow 949 FM, or you could go to the Heart to Beauty Youth Development Initiative page and join the conversation. But that will be after the short break. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. It's been an amazing time learning a whole lot of things. Today is the first day I'm hearing coping skills. The numbers again are 0808-182-6949. We already have a caller.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
CJ from Omahia. Antonio, good evening.
Hi, CJ. How are you doing?
Doug, good evening.
Good evening.
And Happy New Year. Happy New Month.
Same to you, CJ.
Happy Christmas in advance.
Okay, ma. Yes, very interesting topic.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, to be a Nigerian, as in you are a Nigerian, is a pressure, it's one. that one is what. Secondly, in the question, I want to know, as a youth, So, how do you cope with the society pressure? For example, a graduate who's looking for a job, and you go for an interview, and they're asking you for 10 years experience, 15 years, and the other way they will say, if you don't have $1 million to pay for you to get a job, how can a youth cope with such pressure?
All right. Thank you very much, CJ. Keep listening. Thank you.
Look, I'm sure you heard him.
Not exactly. Not clear.
Yeah, as a youth, you're just a fresh graduate and you're applying for a job and they're asking you, we need someone that has 10 years, 5 years experience. I mean, and I don't have those years experiences. It's a pressure. I mean,
that is the big problem we have in as part of the pressures affecting the youth currently. Okay, most of them are in the institutions we have today are trained basically to look for white collar jobs. There's no imbibement of entrepreneurial skills in them this time around, or most times in fact. So if they are trained, when you seek for these jobs, you don't find them, you can learn it, you switch over to self-employment. I don't think there will be stress.
Okay.
You understand me? Because again, those who are also looking for 5 years experience and 10 years experience, that's not fair on the youth. I think there should be orientation on the companies that employ
young
individuals.
people.
Yes, if they are made to understand, they should be made to understand that. Excuse me. They should be made to understand that if they don't get to work, they cannot end this experience. Sorry,
Sorry, Doc.
If they don't work, there's no experience anywhere.
I mean, if someone has 10 years experience, the person is already employed somewhere.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean,
but again, like I said, if they can get themselves employ themselves and do the same work themselves, they name their own companies and have the experience. Even if you now want to work in other bigger companies, your experience now counts, having employed yourself to work. And I think the youth should take it seriously. When they're in NYS camp, they should learn the skills. They should not gallivant. They should not play around. Learn a skill that will help you to move on.
All right, so there you have it. Learn a skill that will help you to move on. So if you're a young person right now, your idol, the Hearts to Build Youth Development Initiative is saying to you, learn a skill. Don't just stay there. Don't be idle. Do something. Antioni, what exactly will be your final words today on managing stress and pressure?
I just want to encourage young people out there. I mean, you see, no one has it all. Everyone is passing through one pressure or the other. Learn to talk to someone. If you can't talk to your parents, talk to someone. You must have a friend. Just like Doc said, you should be able to relate with the external environment. But most importantly, you are not alone. People are going through, no matter the affluence you see people, exude, they're going through some very strong moments, hard moments. Learn to believe in yourself. Learn to speak out. Learn to talk to someone. Don't just keep it to yourself. Speak out and speak up.
Speak out and speak up. Dr. Grace, what are your final words?
The pressure the youths face are numerous and real. And because they are real, they should be taught good coping mechanisms as they are growing up, starting from the families, which is the unit of the society, into the larger society. Their stress should be reduced as much as possible so that they can cope, live out their mental health, and be successful youth who are the leaders of tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much. So while your children are on midterm break and you're looking for what to teach them, you might consider coping skills right now that they are younger so that life will not sweep them away just like that. Victoria Chia is my name. I hope you have learned one or two things. Thank you very much, Antioni Raph.
I think we're going to come back again to now talk about mental health, another area. I think this coping mechanisms is another which topic we should look at.
Okay.
And I'm sure Doctor will be available. I'm very, very sure. If not, he's going to give me some pressure by not coming.
Two of you will have to ratify that. We have to run along right now. Yes. Thank you so much for sticking with us on Flow 94.9 FM, the Flow God So Stayed. Thank you, Dr. Grace. Thank you, Antioni Raph. And of course, Reverend Father Augustine Obi. Thank you so much for being part of this initiative. Till some other time, another Saturday by 4 p.m. exactly, we'll be right here with more interesting topics that will make you a holistic youth. Stay blessed and stick to Flow 94.9 FM.